Hi friends, I hope you're all very well. I've just come out here. It's quite breezy. There's a bit of a wind happening. It is Saturday, so you would have seen my little video that I recorded yesterday. Yesterday. Gosh, the week's going by. I managed to get into my garden again this week, which is great. And I'm planning on being in my garden all day tomorrow because it's going to be sunny. It's sort of partially sunny today and the solar is going well today, so we're all happy here. But I have something really exciting to show you. Wait a second. Oh my goodness. It becomes really, really difficult to keep a sun hat on in this sort of weather. And I've got all the woolens on today. I'm trying to stay sun smart. I think I need to switch to a beanie soon. Okay, so my exciting thing that I want to show you is we have our first blue egg. Look at that. It's not the cleanest egg in the world, but look at that beautiful bluey green egg. It is, I reckon it's more blue than green. And that's a normal standard egg. So this is the first one from one of our cream crested leg bars. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the wind is sort of blowing in every which direction, but I'm just sheltering by the house and that's west. So I've got some shelter. And here we go. So yeah, we got 3 cream crested leg bars and we were told that they would lay greeny or bluey eggs. So I'm so excited. I have this want to have rainbow eggs, like rainbow egg cartons full of different coloured eggs. So we have had brown eggs, obviously, white eggs, and we've had some different shades of browns. So we've had some beautiful chickens that have laid eggs with lots of speckles on them as well. But now I have my blue eggs and I'm so excited. We also have an old English game hen, I believe. Let me check my notes. Yeah, an old English game, and she is tiny. I will try and take some footage of the cream crested leg bars. They lay the blue eggs, so the blue-green eggs, and hopefully they lay them. We have had other hens, other varieties of chickens in the past, and it was a possibility that they would lay like a lavendery, greeny sort of egg, but they didn't. So sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I'm so very happy that these ones actually do. And we got it from a breeder who said that they would. I don't know a huge amount about chickens and the colours of their eggs and why they lay them, but I just know that we now have the blue eggs that I've been wanting for forever. So I'm very, very happy. Now we need to get some more hens that lay white eggs because our white egg hens are getting pretty old. I'm hoping that we can get some chicks this year. So fingers crossed that the old English game hen that we got, she is tiny. She's a little dot, but that breed is supposed to go really, really broody. And I'm hoping that she does because the hen that we've had go broody for 4 years in a row, and then she didn't last year, and hence why we purchased chickens. And also because I wanted these coloured eggs as well. I'm really looking forward to seeing whether she does go broody. I'm hoping, fingers crossed she does, but she is the tiniest little dot. We have called her Raven and she's actually smaller than a raven. So I'm not entirely sure how many eggs she can fit underneath her, but we're going to give it a go. And hopefully these chickens might go broody as well. I think the breeder said that it's not a high chance, and that's why she recommended, she sort of threw in the other chicken at a good price for us and said, why not just take all 4? And we were like, okay, we'll give it a go. I'm a little bit nervous about that hen being picked up by larger birds. So we kind of survey the skylines every now and then just to make sure that, you know, she's okay, because now they're roaming with all of the chickens now. For a long time, we kept them in the coop. We kept them in a section of the coop, and then when we let all the other chickens out, we could close part of the coop and allow them to have more room. So yeah, they've had some roaming and they've had some times out, but for the last probably 3 months now, they've been free ranging all over the place. And they know where home is, so that's good. They know where to lay their eggs, so that's great. I'm so excited. Yay! Look at those beautiful clouds. All right, I am back in the breeze again. Hopefully it's not too windy. So I have been weeding a little bit in the garden, and it's pretty chilly out here with this breeze now. So I'm going to go inside, but I'll show you my garden a little bit closer tomorrow. The plants in this row here are actually starting to touch the netting. So I'm going to move the netting tomorrow from this row into the row beside it. And I'm just going to see how things go. I'm hoping that my dogs don't interfere with the plants in this row because they're just doing so well. I do have an extra net now because I purchased a few more nets. I put a new one on the furthest row away. So I could put the other new one that I have in the middle row and just leave this one for a little bit longer, or I can roll it up and just sit it behind all of these plants that are getting really big. So I've got to make some decisions there and see how I go. But I'm so happy that I have a blue egg. Hi folks, it's the next day on Sunday, and I'm out here weeding, and I'm actually going to pull out, dig out some of these calendula plants here to pop into some of these containers and give away to some friends and family. I know my mum's been asking me to put some aside, so calendula is coming out from around these plants, but I'm going to also transplant some things. So I've got lots of lettuces coming up in here, and it's the perfect time to transplant because it's going to rain tomorrow. Fingers crossed. But there is a lot of rain expected, so, well, a decent amount of rain. So I am going to do some transplanting, give them a good watering in, and then it will rain tomorrow and they will get a really good start on their transplanting to another section of the garden, which is good. I'm seeing lots of primrose seedlings coming up among this row, so I'm pulling those out as well because I don't need more of them. I know I'm going to have heaps of them growing because I let the seed drop everywhere, so I'm going to be pulling out a ton of them. And I'm also taking off the bottom leaves of all the brassicas just because they're getting older and the bugs will enjoy the older leaves. So if I take them off, the plant will stay healthier. So all this really hard manure that I put in the garden before spring and during spring while the potatoes were growing here, some of it's still quite hard, but other parts are just, they're just breaking up really nicely because of all the moisture in the soil. So that's good. All right, let's try and get some of this calendula out. And while I do, got a bit of work happening over at the shed today, but because of all of you watching my videos and, a little bit of money coming through now, that because I'm monetized, I have been able to afford the paid studio version of DaVinci Resolve, and I can actually select some sounds that I don't want occurring in my videos. So really excited about that. So I can get rid of the noisy background noises when there are noisy background noises, and you don't have to try and hear my voice, which is really brilliant. And I'm interested to see whether it works for wind as well, because we do get quite strong winds here in spring and autumn. There we go. There's one little punnet. So yeah, thank you very much for watching my videos, and really excited to have this new paid version because I've been using the free version and it's been really fantastic but I'm hoping that even the quality of my videos will improve as well. These are quite big plants. There's a little bit of rust on them. I'm hoping that with planting them out sort of separately and away from each other, the rust will go away, hopefully. So I'm sitting on this, or I'm kneeling on this piece of cardboard. That's my trick to not get wet pants when it's been wet and raining. Got quite a few lettuces in this section, so I'm going to try and take those out. Along with being able to now afford the paid version of my video editing software, I've also been able to buy some more trees, and we're getting loads and loads of trees to put around, and plants like shrubs and stuff that the birds are going to love and the wildlife will love around the dam that we just got done and around the property. So thank you all. Some of you send extra money through Super Thanks. And also I have a Buy Me a Coffee account, which I don't mention on my channel, but it is down there in the description if you wanted to send any extra money my way. It takes a long time to make these videos, and I definitely don't get paid the minimum wage per hour to make these videos, but I love doing them. I mean, I'm doing something while I'm talking to you. It is definitely the editing part that takes the longest. But yeah, there is that platform, and we will put that immediately straight into trees and plants and things to better the environment we're building here. Because this property that we live on, it was just an empty paddock. It was a really, like, the soil was okay underneath, but it was just dead grass. It was really not fantastic, and we've just revitalized it a lot over the years. So we're just continuing to do that. So some of you said in my last video that you haven't really received much rain at all. It's been so dry. I really hope that you do receive some rain soon. But yeah, it is so very, very dry. So one day our plan is to, the dogs are barking. It'll be interesting to see if you can hear the dogs barking with the new program. Anyhow, we're going to put a fence around this garden eventually. We've got quite a bit of work to do. We need to bring an excavator in and a bobcat and just level off the ground. And we changed our minds about how this setup is, and I'll of course go through that when we get to, or just before we get to, doing the changes. But yeah, we are going to put a nice fence around. I'm going to have a nice picket fence, and then of course my dogs will probably try and find a way of getting in, or they'll complain that they're not right next to me. So I don't know how it's going to work for the dogs, but it is the plan to keep the dogs out of here at particular times and when I'm not around particularly. All right, we've got heaps of punnets of calendulas there. Oops, and I've dug up a worm. Just better put that worm back under the soil. And I've had quite a bit of grass and weeds coming up in this section, and the reason is because I did dig the soil. I, of course, try to stick with a no-dig situation, and that really works for me because where I've planted here, there was a lot of clover, and the clover just kept coming up year after year. And eventually, with me suppressing the clover, it disappeared. But I have brought up a few weeds with the digging, and the reason I did dig this manure into the soil and sort of turn it a bit was because it was so hard after the summer that we had, the dry summer. So it really felt like I needed to do some digging up and mixing of the soil a little bit, and now it's just perfect. And if I put another small layer of manure on here over winter, I think if we get rain in winter, it will be ideal, because then it'll have time to break down and then it won't be so tough in the summer. And I'm starting to think of different things I can do, starting to think about mulching even in the wintertime a little bit, just starting to think of things that will improve my soil. There's a gunshot. That's what happens when you live in the country. You hear gunshots every now and then. So yeah, I'm thinking of ways to, what I can do to my garden to help it through these drought years to come. So I'm definitely going to be mulching. I haven't really mulched, I did mulch my garden this summer, but I haven't really been mulching a huge amount. And I think with the layering of mulching and manure, that's going to feed my soil a lot more as well. But I'm also thinking of how I can have cover crops with certain plants as well. So ones that come up have, things that creep and go along the ground. So sort of a living mulch as well. It's particularly in the front garden as well. We're thinking of planting more creeping plants just to cover the soil, because we did put down a huge amount of bark mulch in the front garden and the grass has come in because we haven't completely finished. Everything's not completely finished on our farm. I think that's, certain things are finished. Eventually things get finished. But you sort of find yourself jumping from one thing to the other sometimes, especially when, you might have animals that need assistance and then you need to do something for them, and that takes time and things get put on the back burner. But yeah, so I've got lots of lettuces through here. I might need to get a tray. All right, I've got one of my seedling trays. I'm just going to pop them in here because I'm not giving away these lettuces. I'm transplanting them somewhere else into my garden, but I'll pop them in here and then hopefully they keep well until I get them into the ground elsewhere. Luckily, all the beds are made and ready to receive plants, so I don't have to do any prepping in the garden. I just need to make some decisions about where they're going. By the way, I haven't been really fantastic with planting more seeds again. Just been focusing on the kids and other things. Work. Yeah, I've been working a bit more. So the days have been really, really full. And it's so nice to be able to spend the day in the garden today. I was talking to someone the other day about my garden and how I missed it so much because I had been away from it for a few days and hadn't been able to get into the garden. And the way I was talking, it was almost like, I have this love affair with the garden. And it is a bit like a really warm friendship. These kales are doing so magnificently. They are really, really happy. This soil feels so nice as well. All right, that area looks so much better now. I'm going to have to jump over to the other side to do the other side of this row because it is so wide. Look at all those lettuces that have come up all by themselves. So good. It's so beneficial to let things go to seed because then you get all these seedlings. And if you have been slack, like I have, at planting more seeds in trays to raise more seedlings, well, I've been slack at doing the lettuce, but look at this. I've got more plants anyway, so wonderful. Oh, these ones look really healthy and happy where they are, but I am going to move them because they will encroach on these brassicas here, and I want them to get nice and big and strong. I've got a calendula in there, but look, these are quite decent sized lettuces. I'm going to put on some music or an audiobook or something, and I'm going to get this done. I really like listening to something. Especially music, it really keeps me going and getting the semi-boring parts of gardening out of the way, although I do quite like weeding. It is nice. Well, friends, it's been another really, really busy week, and I haven't been in my garden at all this week. So you've seen Saturday and Sunday, lots of time spent in the garden where I could. And today's Thursday. And I have not been in my garden. I can see that things are absolutely booming still. It's amazing. We had a little bit of rain, but we didn't get the 10 mils that we were promised, which is kind of annoying. I have switched my sun hat for a beanie today because I'm going out, but it is quite cool out here. It is quite fresh indeed. I am so very grateful that I have this new program so you don't get to hear the wind, because I've already started editing this video and the sound is fantastic, but I can't edit the wind out of reality. And so I'm sitting here in this breeze and the sun is beautiful. Actually need my sunglasses on because it is too bright, too glary really. And a sun hat would be great. But as I said, I'm going out. I'm actually going to Melbourne and I've heard that it's raining there right now. So it's probably going to be cloudy and colder than it is up here. But I've had a really lovely time just checking into the garden, and actually over here where I have weeded, things are looking so much better. So stay tuned for the next video where I will be going through this garden bed here and weeding and sort of thinning out things as well, because there are a lot of plants in this section that need to be thinned out and moved. I had my eldest daughter plant the lettuces and they're looking pretty well. I do need to water the garden though. We're just not getting enough rain at all. And some of my brassicas are really struggling at the start, the ones that are really tiny without a lot of rain. But the ones that have started, that I started earlier, they are really, really thriving in this weather that we're having. And we had those strong winds come through as well. That storm come a few nights ago, and everything seems to be fine. I did go around the entire property and made sure everything was pinned down and safe, and yeah, everything looks perfect and fine to us, so no damage there, which is great. There's quite a bit of grass coming up in the pathways in this bed here too, so I will be gardening all weekend. And if it does rain, I hope it does rain, but if it does rain, I'll even be out here in the rain because I've got quite a bit to do and not a lot of time. So I look forward to sharing my week of gardening again with you next week. So if you have enjoyed this video, please head over and press like and subscribe for more of this sort of content. I will be bringing you a video of what to plant in June, and I will be taking you through a tour of my garden, hopefully. So I look forward to sharing those videos with you. Have a really beautiful rest of your week, and I will see you again very soon.